Hello everybody, good evening, welcome along, and we are finally back. F1 2020 is here, JACKOCAR is here, and really nothing's changed too much, has it? We're still boring old people in the commentary box, me and Jacko, but you're going to see all the big changes on track. We're very excited about this season, and yeah, we've got a fantastic grid, a fantastic new qualifying format, and even a new app to use for ourselves as well. So plenty to look forward to this season. But first of all, the man who created it all, back again. What are we expecting this season then?
First of all, I'm shocked that they employed me again to do another season in the comms box, but here I am. You know, can't fire myself, can I?
Well, this is it.
What are we looking forward to, Owen? We've got 5 new drivers coming into the league, and we are really excited for them because they have made the lineup a hell of a lot faster. So you've got the likes of Paul McGuinness, Kyle Smith, Riley Byers, Daniel Alexander, one of last season's reserves, and also Jamie Wright, one of last season's reserves. 5 amazingly fast drivers, so that's going to be exciting. The new qualifying system, 18 minutes, everybody only gets 1 lap. They all go out at designated time. And of course this new task system, so we're going to have extra telemetry to run you through the action, so that'll be exciting.
I've got to say, the qualifying format is something I have been very interested in. I know it's similar to what we used to see in F1 back in the day, but it certainly is more suited now to what you see in the likes of NASCAR if they ever did qualifying anymore. RIP NASCAR qualifying. But certainly, one at a time, it's helpful for everyone because it means everyone's under pressure, could mix up the grid. We all get to watch every single lap as well, or at least most of it. We'll see every single driver out there because that's a thing we always struggle with, I think, on this game, and all the games really, is that you never catch every lap, and so everyone gets to watch this guy on their lap, puts them under a little bit more pressure, could certainly make the interesting championship even more interesting. That could be what decides it in the end. You know, someone crumbles under the pressure of having literally every single person, because there'll be people in the pits as well. Every single person's going to be watching that lap, so it'll certainly be a very interesting dynamic for this season, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they all handle it.
Yeah, you're going to have potentially some mixed up grids with drivers even just slightly invalidating, and then putting them at the back of the grid, so you're going to get a few obscure pole sitters, and like you say, a potential championship on its head once again, which we love to see.
And do you know what, actually, just on invalidations, we've all seen, the game's been out a while now, the corner cutting on strict is absolutely unforgiving. It's the most unforgiving system we've seen so far. There are some tracks where even if you're on the white line, it'll still invalidate it. So you absolutely have to make sure it's perfectly within the track limits the whole way around, or else you will lose that lap. And that is going to be very interesting. You could see relatively slow times go to the top. It'll be interesting to see what sort of tactics they decide to use on their laps. But yeah, we're getting ready for the start now. 18 people in the lobby, nearly there. And yeah, I'm very excited about this.
I'll tell you what, Owen, whilst we wait for the final drivers to arrive and be ready up, I'll just run you through the teams for this season. So starting off with Team Speed, last season's champion, you've got Pete Knighton, you've got Risky Racer, Yori returns, and Dan Scar, the reserve from last season, joins them. At the team they call Smooth Operators, believe it or not, Carlos Sainz inspired, this is Thomas Stulin's team. He's joined by Michael O'K, Cameron Blair and Riley Byers. The Jordan F1 team is, oddly enough, run by Jordan. He's the team leader there. Jamie Bromley, Dexter and Bazza are his teammates. AI Racing makes a return, and that is run by MK Bourne, Arnold, Connor or Whiteout and Jamie Wright. And finally you got Scuderia Lenta, which translates as Team Slow. Mr. John is in charge of that one. His teammates are Chris Morris, Kyle Smith, a last-minute replacement last night, replacing Mark Beesmer in the 49 car, and Paul McGuinness, who is this season's favourite to win.
That's only based on Zandvoort, really, isn't it? I think
so.
They'll see him on those leaderboards and they'll get very excited. This is Paul McGuinness we're talking about here. He literally lives for disappointments, so we'll see how he handles that pressure. But just going to warn people in the chat. I know a lot of people always like us to interact, but we can't really do that when we have the app on. But trust me, we all appreciate you. Please don't leave when we don't talk to you, because you're going to get a good race anyway, honestly, so you've got no reason to not stay. But thank you all for showing up. 10 already, haven't even started yet. Do share the link around, do let everyone know we're back, because this is going to be very interesting. This is very unique for league racing, on F1. It's also one of the earliest leagues to go up as well. I think I'm quite proud of that one. We've done quite well to get this up so quickly.
It's also the first league to run TAS or TAS on this game. I know a few leagues trialled it on F1 2019, but we are the first league to use it in anger tonight.
I personally trialled it on F1 2019 with Austin, and like I was saying to you before, it is incredible. It tells you everything you could possibly want to know. Although, to be fair, when we trialled it, it was actually in French. Hopefully this will be in French this time. We were able to work it all out though. But it does tell you absolutely everything you need to know. And just a quick reminder again, when we're coming in here, we're going to get to see every single lap, or at least most of every single lap, because it'll be one driver at a time on a lap. And yeah, who's actually going to be first? We should probably answer. Who will be first?
It is Khalifa, by the way. So he returns. He did retire at the end of last season, but tonight he replaces. Yeah, it's a one-off, I believe. But he replaces Daniel Alexander, and then also Matt Rosamond comes in for Thomas in the Smooth Operators team. They're the only two reserves, and then we kick off with Paul with 15 minutes and 30 seconds to go in qualifying. Owen, I have just sent you the qualifying list for tonight, so you can run down with our viewers.
Yes, I'm gonna have to ignore the TAS system in this qualifying session so I can keep you all up to date with who's where. And I'm saying on that as well, there are time penalties. Now I don't know how people feel about these, but there are two people who are gonna have time penalties at the end of this race. There's Baza, who where did he get that penalty? He must have got that 4 races ago or something. He'd be annoyed with that one. 5 seconds to the end of his time, and then Whiteout gets 20 seconds. That's fun. And I'm sure you probably know where they're from, but yeah, hopefully the drivers are aware of that. Are they aware of that?
What's that, sorry?
The penalties, and the drivers, hope they remember about those.
Oh, they were warned earlier on this morning, so they should know. They should be well aware.
And so, again, if you're wondering why we're waiting a bit, the first guy to go out will be Khalifa, and it'll be any time from 17 minutes to 16:45. That's when he has to be leaving the pits. So you should see him any moment now. He has still got the medium combine tyre selected, and that is an interesting strategy. So he is committing to mediums straight away. I wonder if this is the theme you're going to see throughout this qualifying session, actually, because tyres just do not last very long on this game. That's one thing I've noticed a lot, especially when I'm playing my team, and these are the cars from my team effectively, and they go through their tyres incredibly quickly, and honestly they blow up at about 70%, these tyres on this game. They really do not give you much leeway anymore, so this is interesting. Mind you, we do have the mandatory 2-stop again, don't we, so that could make it a little bit easier for these guys.
Yeah, we also have the return of the Joker, Owen, and I know not your favourite feature.
You know, this could end up even more useless with, you know, more degrading tyres. Eventually, someone I'm sure will win with it, but is it 2 tonight?
It is 2 tonight. I will let you know. One of them is the man on track right now, Khalifa, obviously his home track, and the other one is Baza, also on his Joker. But there is a slight change. So if somebody wins on their Joker race this season and completes only a 1-stop, they will get an additional 5 playoff points, which is something we didn't have in place last season. Not that it would have mattered.
Yeah, probably wouldn't have mattered to us, but hey, new season, you never know. And we're saying Khalifa there has got his home colours on his car as well. But that's interesting, that seeing someone on a Joker on the mediums, that does make plenty of sense actually, because that would surely tell you mediums are hard. That's what he's planning on if he can get into the top 10, and we'll find out when he comes out of the pits how it's going to work. Now, you'd expect there not to be too much traffic, but you can see on the map there that, well, there is going to be the car there. Paul might get in his way. Hopefully Paul's aware of this, but Khalifa starting his lap now, heading down towards turn 1 for the first time, and in anger anyway this season. These cars should be quite a lot quicker than last year's cars. I don't know what sort of pull time we're expecting, but it might be somewhere in the 26s, 25s, depending on how much these guys have practiced. Maybe on the mediums won't be that easy to do that sort of time, but certainly someone like Paul on the softs could get up there if he's got the pace we're all expecting him to have, or at least how some people are. I'm not expecting him to have anything. I'm telling you it's going to go wrong eventually. I'm saying it's reverse psychology. Maybe it'll go well for him eventually, but either way, relatively clean so far for Khalifa, and no real dramas. Paul got out of the way nice and easily. Turn 10, pretty much the most difficult corner on the track when you've got no ABS, which you can see most of these drivers might well have actually. It's a lot easier to do this year, but still quite difficult. I think Khalifa had said he started learning it on F1 2019. I think we saw it in Baku. And it should have him in a good position here. He should be even quicker, even though he's only a reserve. Should have him this one race be quite strong. Through the middle sector, 1 minute 5.4 through there so far. Difficult to really see a benchmark as the second lap gets started there. We'll catch up with that as it goes on for Speed New Garden. Through the last 2 corners now, Khalifa to set the first time of the season and his only time of this qualifying session. The second he crosses the line, this is done, and it will be at 26.8. So that's him done. His qualifying is over. It's all about what the rest do.
Provisional pole as well for Khalifa. Or is it too early to say that?
Maybe a tad too early to say that, but I'm sure he'll be saying that, won't he?
Yeah.
And look at this, we've got a real cluster down at turn 1, and you can see it on the map, there's 3 cars down there. That is very interesting, the way this track is. We'll be seeing like this on other tracks, but it seems that the timing system we've got right now, everyone's sort of meeting in the same place at the moment.
Yeah, oh, and I was just going to say, with this new qualifying system, it gives you a great opportunity to review the liveries every week. I know that's kind of your thing.
It
and
does,
this gives you a showcase for every single livery.
I'm just wondering if Joseph Newgarden, I'm assuming this is who Newgarden's named after, actually ever ran a white and orange livery. He's run the white and yellows, he's run the white and reds, he's run white and reds, white and reds, he's run the white and blues.
Matt Rosamond in the 53 car, he's a IndyCar fan, so I think that's where the Newgarden comes from.
I must look closer at his liveries. I don't recall him doing this one, but it would certainly be interesting to see India. It's a very nice colour scheme, that. As he goes to the line to go P2, that's slower on the soft, so that might be a little bit discouraging for him. But we'll see how he compares to the rest, as Paul is on a very quick lap so far. He should easily go to P1 with this. He's in the 1 minute 4s in the middle sector, which from what we've seen of all 2 times so far today, is a pretty good one. That reminds me of Alain Prost, that one, of livery from the last game. I didn't like it too much, but Paul's got it, so I'm going to have to like it now. As he goes P1, 6/10 clear. Let's catch up with Riley. On his lap, he's in the first sector. No more in the second sector, should say. He's also got J. Luke out there. Plenty of laps going on, even though it's all a very different system. Of course, the guys in the pits will be thinking, man, this is taking forever. But certainly, this is very high action, even though it's all in segmented parts. This is brilliant. Non-stop action. You love to see it.
You imagine this as well when we get to the short tracks later on in the season. We've got Silverstone, we've got Bahrain. So we come back here for round 11, and we've got the USA towards the end of the season in the 3rd round of the playoffs. And that is going to be action. Carnage, if anything.
So Riley through the middle sector, he's also got a livery similar to Newgarden. Maybe a little bit more bronzed, but still a nice little colour scheme. Bits of green in there as well, and the stars and stripes. Maybe they should try for Newgarden livery, because it is based on an American man and an American car. As Riley there goes into P2. Next up, we've got J-League. Now, I've seen the yellow flags on the back straight. That must just be for preparing a lap, I'd hope. For Mr. John, that would be. Living up to his team's name. Hopefully not. But on board with J-Luke. Any guesses what this car is based on? Might be a tad difficult. I like this livery format, actually. This one is the one I use personally as well. And it's a lovely little design. It's a very nice livery. But will it be a good lap? Yes, it will. P1 by 4/10. So we're already into the 25s I was predicting. I'm going to be patting myself on the back for that one. As Kyle, when I was watching him there, he's just DC'd. I was about to say how lovely his livery was, but we don't get to see it. It's a bit annoying, isn't it?
So we missed Kyle, you say? So
Kyle,
I'm dealing with Tass at the moment.
Kyle DC'd there. So I was about to say how nice livery was, but we can't see it anymore. So instead we'll watch Mr. John's lap. My goodness, is this an improvement on his last livery. What a stunner. I'm loving this. This is reminding me of the Carlins in F2. Maybe a bit more white on it, but I'm certainly a fan of this.
I can tell you it's actually inspired by Chase Elliott's number 9 Hendrick Motorsports car from NASCAR. Right. So this is the Napa scheme.
Nice. Right, yes, the Napa scheme. Okay.
Great job from Mr. John.
I'm liking it. See, I see those colours and instantly think Louis Delatraz in his Carlin last year. But now I'm going to think of Alexander Rossi as the only person I know of a Napa livery in IndyCar. Mind you, he never actually uses the right colours anymore. He's gone to black and pink for some reason. It's ugly as hell. But anyway, looks too similar to Jack Harvey's. Not on about that though, are we? Let's see how Mr. Jones' lap is getting along. This is It's not forced. It's 3.2, I think, off Paul's time. I mean, obviously J-Luke's is a bit quicker. We're lucky we've got no 107% rule. He might be pushing it a tad. But Carl is back, but his day is done in terms of qualifying. Nothing that he can really do. Obviously, the guys that have done times can retire. They've got nothing else to go out for, so they can also sit back and watch him argue as Mr. Joel 4.4 seconds off the pace.
And as those drivers get to sit back and watch the rest of the session, that increases the pressure on the guys that go out later on. So you imagine this at like a playoff deciding race or the Championship 5 at the end of November. They can have so much pressure on them. I can't wait for that. People making mistakes.
This is Alexander Rossi, look. We got Yuri. Has he based this off Alexander Rossi? Don't tell 100%. Me. He has to have, yes. He's also Cup. He's gone off the pink. He's gone to the pink and black. He should have stayed with Napa, or what I used to call the 2015 Cyber, but same thing. P6, that's what you get. Who else on that? Calabaro just started one, but he's not at the end. Baz is getting close to the end
with his Mercedes-inspired car.
I see HWA and F3 with that one. Still very nice. Still, I'm liking that. Very nice livery. Will it produce results? P4, not a bad lap there. Obviously, sticking with his brawl. Well, he's sticking with the Brackley team. He'll never leave those colours, will he? He'll always just alternate between Brackley colours. Very nice, though. Big fan of it. Right, who's on a lap right now? We've got Whiteout just starting one, I believe. Camo Babo's on the latest one. I hope I'm right with that one. We'll watch him anyway. And what is that inspired off? I quite like it, actually. The pink and the white and the flashes of green there. Makes it stand out a little bit, the number 2 car. Not as ugly as we've seen from other liveries, but yeah, very nice. I might like this one a bit more than others. I think a lot of people will turn around and say, you like this one, but you don't like the Alexander Rossi one, but I think this is quite a nice livery, actually. I'm weird. But Cambabo, 1 minute 5.4 in the middle sector. That's not really on the pace for P1, but still. he'll get top 10 for now, won't he? Only 9 drivers out there, but still he'll take it. Top 10's a top 10, as they say. J-Luke's probably already popped the champagne, as Hammer to the line will slot in P6. Whiteout then, next up. He is effectively stuck with his colours from last season, maybe a little less on the purple side, or at least maybe the shiny purple side, certainly a shade-ish of purple, but I like it still. Sticking with what works. Sorry for lag, I'm lagging again a little bit, internet just not too great, but hopefully it's not differing like a madman.
Speaking of lag, that's this man, Whiteout. He,
or maybe it's him that's lagging. Maybe it's not me.
Of course it is. You know it is.
Well, listen, I'm always just going to cover myself just in case it's not. Invalid. Invalid. Ooh, first invalid time of the day, I think that only, actually.
Yeah, he did the same in the test race last week on Friday. Which means we move to OKK.
Status GP, back at it again. A bit more green on the Status GP livery this time. I'm sure he's based it on something else, but I'm never gonna call it anything other than a Status GP. And he comes up to the final corner. He had a sort of up and down season. His highs were very high. His lows were a bit extremely low. Hopefully he stays on the highs last season. He won the season opener, didn't he, last season? P7 at the moment. Didn't he win the season opener? I'm not remembering that wrong, am I? The very first JACKOCAR race.
OKK.
OKK.
Last season, yeah, he was P1 in Australia. Camo Babo was on the podium with him, actually.
Yeah, so the very first JACKOCAR winner, P7 at the moment.
It seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
It does a bit, doesn't it? It was only, what, February, wasn't it?
February 20th or something like that?
Something like that, yeah. It's flown by, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I forgot it was sort of his, again, he was sort of getting better throughout the season, was risky last time out. Again, maybe it's more ups and downs. If he gets his consistency down, it could be a good season. Liking his livery as well. I'm saying there's not many templates for the liveries, unfortunately, on this game, as are there no real templates for the helmets. That's why a lot of them are relatively exactly the same. But what they've got, they're making it work. Obviously, you can fully customize your suit. I'm not going to go suit review, but you can work with livery a little bit nicer. As Risky goes P10, and Whiteout's invalid time is decided it's going to become valid now. He's P4. That's where he went. That's an odd one. Codemasters for you
I
there.
must admit, it didn't come up red on the track map, so...
It didn't, no, that's why I was surprised when he crossed the line. Only 4 minutes to go now. Obviously, 3 people still in the pits, the rest on out laps, and so that's all to plan. They will all come out. Those 3 being MK Born, Pete, and Jordan. And you know what else is nice? Having the colour coding on the side of the screen for the drivers. So much handier. So much handier. And, well, unsurprisingly, what Clyde is black. Fully black car with, I think, a little bit of white on it. Nice. I like it. Understated. Good stuff. Now, Arnold. Holy moly. Holy Jesus. Look at that thing. That's incredible. Best livery of the season already. I mean, I can't really give us anything else, can I, today? Although Dexter's a nice evolution on last year's, I've got to say, or last season's, got to say. But I'm sorry. Seeing Arnold's already, oh, beautiful.
Dexter, by the way, we've got 36 drivers in the league. Dexter was the only one who opposed this qualifying system. Sorry to call him out.
Well,
but hopefully he starts to enjoy it and benefits from the mistakes of others. But so far, nobody has invalidated.
Oh, do you know what? I'm going to regret saying that this wasn't the best livery on the grid. We'll call it equal best. The chrome is just hitting me in different ways you can't even imagine. But will it help his lap time? No. P12. Still, I mean, it could be worse. But
Arnold's
P12.
invalidated.
Arnold's invalidated, yeah. That's not good news. He can't do another lap, of course, so he will... Well, he's got no choice. He'll be starting second last.
Yeah, so he'll go... This is the guy who finished 7th last season, but he won the regular season. He had a 29-point swing, you may remember. He went into the playoffs, 22 points ahead of everybody else. And then he come out -7. No driver had worse luck than Arnold last season. And now he's going to start this season, P19.
I guess the only way's up, isn't it, for him now? That is a bit annoying. Apparently, Whiteout's down on outlap, and obviously he can't be back out there. I don't know what the penalty is for that, but he's got to make sure he doesn't actually set a lap time, or else he's going to be getting
a qualifying ban next week if he
lot
does.
of trouble. Nice, Splinter. I think someone has clearly put the paint through the wind tunnel by accident, but it's turned out beautifully. And it's a purple middle sector that I think is very much on the pace, this one. I know it always turns out purple. That was a 4.8 though. That's certainly more competitive to what we've seen from other people. Whiteout's now back in the pit with his magical lag. Don't quite know how that's happening, but we'll ignore it, I guess. As Splinter's in the line, what sort of lap time is this going to be? This should well be right up there. P2, good lap. 4/10 off pole, mind you, still. Only with 3 people to go. But still, a very handy lap indeed, I'd say. And MK Born, next on a lap. Sticking with the same colours as last season, not able to use the same livery, but still a nice colour scheme. Not going to complain. I have a feeling he might not go back to gold. Didn't end too well from when he tried the gold in China, did it? Hitting the pit wall.
Yep. Still finished 5th overall, but it's not where he wanted to be or could have been.
Anyway, here he comes out of the final corner. Of course, was one of the big 5 last season. Where is he going to start? Season 2? P5. So he's still in that top 5, but still have Jordan and Pete to go. And, well, they were also 2 of the 5. So we'll see how that all pans out.
Jordan in the Jordan colours.
Very nice to see. He's gone with the... I'm going to have to be even more biased to him now. He's kept his old colours from last season for his suit. And he's got the old Jordan colours, the Irish team. Okay, Northern Irish, but we'll get away with it. But will it give him any extra speed? P7, not quite in that top 5, but still decent. And well, this is it, final lap. We can give it full attention, just like we've given pretty much all the others. And Pete has turned up with a very nice looking livery himself. I think that's the British flag livery. We haven't got an outboard view of it, but I believe that'll be the one with the British flag all over it. Yes,
the British flag in the Team Speed colours. Of course, Team Speed, they've got a whole group. All 4 drivers are Team Speed this season.
And I mean, this is another one. The chrome on some of these liveries is looking fantastic at night, I must say. This is another very good livery. But it is the final lap, and this could well be the big lap. Although saying that, well, my evidence is 5 lappers. He's not going to be that quick this season, but we'll see. At the moment, Khalifa has qualified in that top 10 on those mediums. He can now not be beaten there, so he will start on the mediums. But where is Pete going to go? Will he beat him? Will he get to the top? Will J-Luke keep that P1? Let's find out. He will. It's pole position for J-Luke. Pete's only 14. And so that is the first qualifying of the season finished. We saw every single lap. We saw the failures, we saw the successes. Only 2 people didn't get a lap in, and that were Arnaud, who was the only one who actually fully invalidated, and Kyle, who had an internet problem and DC'd. So the grid then, J-Luke, Spencer, Paul, Riley, MK Bourne, and that's interesting. Was it only one of the top 5 from last season are in that top 5 at the moment? That is telling the audience know about some of the new guys in there. Nice mix-up. And you got Whiteside, Jordan, Baza, Khalifa, and Canva your top 10 with again. Khalifa starting on mediums, good stuff. OKK, Newgarden, Clyde, Pete, Risky, Dexter, Yuri, Mr. John, Arnold, and Kyle are your drivers. All 20 on the first race. You'll love to see it. And, well, hopefully we just need to wait for Jordan to retire and then we can get to the race start.
Worth mentioning that
I can turn TAS on now.
Pete has gone to fully no assists this season, with the exception of Line. And he's also transferred to Will from Pad, so he won 3 or 4 championships as a Pad user. What can he do as a Will user? Starting from P14, you wouldn't expect very much.
So
but it's a long season to go.
So the fastest sector times, obviously we can see those now, the fastest sector times throughout the session actually were from 3 different drivers. Best sector 1 went to Paul with 27.7, best sector 2 went to Jamie, the pole sitter, on a 36.6, and then Riley got the fastest 3rd sector on a 21.1. It's just interesting to see that, you know, if that all was put together quite well, we'd see slightly better lap times. So that showed the potential was there. The only guy that got it properly right behind by 4 tenths as well was J-Luke. I mean, you can see on our timings here, well, you can't, but I can tell you that 36.6 was a good 3 tenths quicker than the second best middle sector. That was just a stunning middle sector, and that's what's done it.
Worth mentioning to the viewers, Owen, that the TAS, the YouTube interface is not currently ready. It will be next week. So next week the viewers will be able to basically type in fastest lap and it'll tell them who's got the fastest lap, that kind of stuff. We've got everything though, and that's all that matters.
Yes. It'd be nice if it would be a bit more sort of zoomed out a bit, like a spreadsheet, but sure we can tell them that. Let us zoom it out. I can only see 3 people at a time.
Yeah. Worth mentioning as well, little note, is tonight is Baz's 300th league race across all leagues. That's an impressive stat right there.
I don't know if I want to call that impressive or just... Has he got a life? That is impressive. That is impressive, isn't it? I'll tell you what, another thing with this task system, I'm going to see 14 cars. I'm not even kidding, I'm going to see 14 cars. Oh god, it's all broken.
I can see 20.
I cannot. My one's not working as well as your one's working.
To be fair, I am the host. That might make the difference.
Yeah, mine's absolutely screwed. Mine's not working properly. Oops. Yeah, well, it's still in qualifying mode. Oh, I don't know what the heck's wrong with it. Anyway, maybe I need to get it on the computer. Maybe that's what I need. But then again, I can't do that because I'd have to turn the PlayStation off, and that's not going to happen. So we'll just have to stick with what I've got. And Jacko's got all the information anyway, so it's okay. Shockingly, not going to rain. Always someone you got to consider, but it's certainly not going to rain here. Look how colourful this grid is. Lovely grid. Now, let's see the tyres everyone's starting on. Obviously, we know Khalifa decided to go for mediums, as have Newgarden, Clyde, and Arnold. Now, here are the jokers again. We've got Khalifa and someone else. We get the other jokers.
No, Khalifa and Newgarden are the only 2 reserves. They're in for Thomas and
Jokers, I mean.
Oh, Jokers, sorry. Yeah, it's Khalifa and Baza.
Alright, cheers.
Of course, Baza won here in ILR 8. You commentated that one.
I did. I commentated on the massive start line accident, and I commentated on the victory as well. Wouldn't that be nice? A lovely start line accident leads to a Baza victory. I don't think anyone would complain about that. They didn't complain about it when it happened last time. In what was, I think, his only ILR victory in all the seasons he was in there. He was in there from start to finish, wasn't he?
Yep, correct.
So, yeah. we'll see if we can repeat that tonight. But 4 people on the mediums, the rest on the sauce. Again, yeah, 2-stop, you'd expect that, but I just wonder how much these guys might be caught out by the tyre wear. It certainly catches me out when I play even just my team. I know it's not always fully the same, but the fact that the tyres below at 70% now, around there, that could be a really difficult thing to manage, and some of these guys might just not expect. Something else which we've got to mention as well. Look at this. I can look back, I can look to the side, I can look to the other side. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I've been really wanting this feature back, and well, we don't have all the features we want. We have got arguably the most important one back in there that we've lost. You can look behind the driver that you're watching now, and that just means you don't have to be looking for really creative camera angles, hoping that you can see a fight. You can just look on board someone and say, right, what's happening behind? Ah, there you go. I can see behind me. I've got Splinter, and the rest are on quite slow out laps, actually. There's particularly slow out laps. MK Boy is holding this up massively. Massively. Look at that. And yeah, well, there you go. There's our pit strategies. Most of these guys are on 2 stops, and again, that's what the game predicts. You've got lap 7, and then, well, it doesn't really matter. It tells us what we need to know. It's 2 soft stints or 2 medium stints, and then the other tyre, pretty much. No one should be on the hard stay unless they're on a 2-stop, which could lead to a very interesting end to the race, because you'd imagine that Khalif would cycle to the front. Whether he'd be able to stay there or not is a different thing. And yes, Kyle, your livery's great. Couldn't say it because you deceived, but certainly on board, that thing is a looker. Sadly, though, it's last on the grid. We'll see if it can find itself any higher. Along with Arnold, 2 of the best liveries there at the back, but look at that, we've lost a car. Jordan has DC'd, but 5 rights are on, we're going to go anyway. And boogity boogity boogity, let's go racing. Whitehouse jumped the start. He should make a few positions, but obviously that will cost him in the long run. But J. Luke's had a good start. He's leading the way down towards turn 1, looking for any dive bombs. That's Paul McGuinness having a wee look on the inside, and he might have actually backed it off there a little too much. He's got Riley all over the back, but he has to back off. How hard is Whitehouse going to fight as OKK? Winner last season in the first race is out of the race. You can see where he is there in his status GP car. He's gone. And that is his season opener. A lot of contact down at turn 1. The safety car deployed already. And Whiteout, well, he's going to have a drive-through penalty to take when that safety car goes in. He's going to be miles behind. That's not going to count as a pit stop or anything. He's going to have to take that penalty. And that's a real shame for him, that.
Owen, I think Jordan is still here, by the way. Just a game glitch telling us that he left.
Right, well, he's last on my screen. He's obviously had an accident, but there's no ghosting, and the AI tend to cause all sorts of chaos. I've got to say, it certainly looks like a robot driving it. Yeah, that's a robot. That's a robot. He's not here. He's gone. Now, one glitch I might need to mention very quickly, just in case it pops up. I did a commentary the other day, and I noticed that some people's telemetry would count a lap on a set of tyres as 2 laps, and so would say at Spa, for example, well, which is where I commented, someone ended up doing 36 laps on a set of tyres in 22 laps, which, yeah, you can't do. So if you just see someone's name going up and their tyres counting 2 laps per lap on the wear, it's not really doing that. You're just going to have to divide that number by 2, and I'll point out I haven't seen it, but will we see any early pit stops? You'd imagine so. I imagine we'll see most of it. I wonder if that is going to benefit Khalifa or not, really, or will he pit himself? Khalifa's pitting. Yuri stays out, but Khalifa has just made an overtake on the way into the pit. That's brilliant. And there's Riley already being held up. Paul hits him, I think, or was it the other way around? Now, way, someone just got a penalty for 5 seconds. But Khalifa made an overtake on the way into the pits there. Very nice. I like to see that. He's changing the front wing, that's why I had to pit. We're certainly making the most of it, and there goes his Joker already. Because that's the same set of tyres.
It's a 1-2-3 team speed at the moment. I feel like that was somewhat orchestrated. It's good to see. It's really good to see.
It is nice to see.
That man Yuri leading. Of course, we don't cheer for him when he overtakes. Not up in the comms box, do we, Owen?
We're not. We'll never do that. Never. Never us.
What? Yeah.
Now, Baza has taken his stop. We actually can see some predictive strategy. They changed from driver to driver based on what they started on, but obviously Baz's will obviously say a 2-stop. And, well, I highly doubt he can get these tyres to the end here, Baza. And that would sort of be the plan on a Joker, wouldn't it? But Yeah. Oh no, we've got the glitch where Mr. John always ends up at the front, and Jordan as well. That's both of them. Clyde as well. Oh, this game's so broken. It's so broken. Three separate drivers keep cycling to the front, and well, to say my task system is working would be a lie. So I can't look at that.
I
Sadly.
have a speed 1234 currently. Is that
Mine
correct?
is absolute. Yes, it is correct. But mine is absolutely spazzing out. Oh my god, my app's not working. I'm leaving a negative review. I'm gonna have to look at penalties here because there was a lot of people who got penalties on that first lap. Obviously, jump start for Whiteout was a drive-through penalty, but we had 6 separate 5-second penalties on the way through the first lap and a half, and they were for Dexter hitting Newgarden, Clyde hitting OKK, potentially that's what took him out, Arnold hitting Clyde, Paul hitting Riley, and then risking Newgarden for ignoring yellow flags. So that's already 6 different people with a penalty in this race, and then one with a drive-through. Now, as a few positions changing now, Khalifa's into the pits again. He's, I assume, going to stick hards on now. Maybe he meant to do that when he was in. I'm not too sure. He'll just cycle to the back now. I assume this is for the hards. Unless... No, he's had another accident. He's had a second accident. And lost his front wing again. But now he's onto the hards. And that's... Well, I guess he's going to try and get that to the end. I believe, by the way, we still have a limit of 5 safety cars, so there's plenty of opportunities for these guys who are doing a 2-stop to get that set and stop in. It just depends really when these tyres actually start to degrade and when safety cars come out. We don't really know what these tyres are going to do yet. Mainly because we've just sort of got no experience of it.
I'm hearing a lot from the drivers in the couple of weeks that the game's been out. Apparently the hard is very similar to the medium as a race tyre. So a lot of drivers will opt for that nowadays.
Right, well, we'll see what the wear is like on them. I think I've seen, again, my team, not really the same as online, I know, but mediums and hards, I sort of agree. They tend to have really not as much difference as they would last year. You'd often see that the hards are just useless, especially on track like Canada. You'd always say Canada, Abu Dhabi, you'd always just want to avoid them and track like that. Now it's certainly a lot more viable, which is nice to see, a bit more variety in the races. So you've got 3 compounds for a reason. Obviously, this league tends to encourage the use of all 3 anyway. But, yeah, good to see that the hard is now properly viable. But will this safety car go in yet? I want to see how these all handle, because we've got 8 different drivers in the top. We've got 8 drivers in the top 10 and 3 compounds in that top. 8 drivers in the top 8 on 3 different compounds. I think I said that wrong, but you got the point in the end. 3 of those are on sauce, 1 on hards, and the other 4 on the mediums. That'll be a good way of telling sort of who's who, where's where, on what pace, because NK Born, obviously one of the quicker drivers out here, and that was going to prove the hard theory, and obviously Khalifa as well. But safety car is in, or at least it's on its way around the final corner.
Before we get going, I've just been reading the chat. Apparently Connor drove backwards off the start after he jumped it,
And
which then broke Khalifa's wing the first time round.
Right, well, we'll see what they say about that one. That could be quite a lot of trouble, but I tell you what, who waited massively long amounts of time to go was Yuri. And somehow it's worked for him. It's the Barrichello Brazilo free tactic. Never works, and look at that for a near dive bomb. From speed on speed, Pete on risky, and then Newgarden as well having a wee go. Oh, he's off. That's Newgarden gone. And he's out of the race. He spun on the way up turn 2. Safety car's only just been in. I don't think they'll deploy it straight away again. And Paul is already fighting Jaylee. This could be the fight for the potential race win. Jaylee, the pole sitter. Paul McGinn is on the inside, having to back out a little bit. But Jaylee maybe took a bit too much speed there, and Paul's ahead into P4. And look at that, you got down the inside. We've got Kyle and NK Bourne. Kyle was last on the grid. Look at him now to P7, and NK Bourne's being swamped there. He's lost another position there to Whiteout, who's still got to take that drive-through penalty.
And of course, Whiteout next week has a race ban because of what happened in China with Yuri, so it's not going to be a great start to the season for Whiteout.
Paz has already lost all of his ERS. That's something else we've got to point out. Obviously, the ERS is now just a single button press to deploy your energy and a single button press to turn it all off. That makes it a lot more easy to manage, but it also means that you've got to be a little bit more tactical with it
It's a lot easier to use as well.
it's a lot easier to choose, but it's deceptive. You'll think, oh, this is great, I can just press this easy over to it, but then you'll run out very quickly. You'll think, oh. So we'll see how these guys are when it comes to the tactics and that. We've got a car into the pit lane that is white out. And Paul McGuinness, fastest lap, but look at that, you got Risky, nearly going for the move, and there goes J-Luke on Paul. Paul might be the fastest guy out there, but J-Luke's got the late break in, he's up to P4 again, but look at that side by side of the hill for P4, and it is J-Luke back ahead. Meanwhile, for the lead, you got Risky, again looking at Yuri, but no move as of yet. Pete defending there from J-Luke, and there goes Paul again. Yuri's gone off the track. That'll put Risky into the race lead. But Paul is just putting so much pressure on J-Luke. They're having a fantastic fight, and they're nearly coming together there. Really good driving from Hall to avoid that. That could have been Mark Webber, Valencia 2010 all over again. Yuri, I don't think he hit anything, but he's certainly spun into the gravel trap. That will put him way down the field. And no reason to turn 10 this time around. But that top 4, top 5, even top 6 really. That group, nice and close already.
Yeah, I tell you what, Risky Racer will be happy. He went all of last season without leading a single lap, and now he's going to lead this one. And also, if he leads another one, he'll get the first playoff point of the well, second playoff point of the season. What's the first one? Went to J-Luke for qualifying on pole.
Oh, well, the pace that J-Luke's starting to show now, he might well be in the lead by the end of the next lap. DRS as well will be enabled on the next lap. But first of all, he's got to try and get by Pete. Will he just back it off, go for it when it's safe? He will certainly just hold it for a while.
Pete will protect his teammate here, out in front. Yellow flags in Sector 1 still, Owen.
Yeah, I think Jordan's in a fight, but that's not a yellow flag. Oh! That's Paul turning in on Kyle on the straight. That is a bit dodgy. We like our aggressive defending, but that could have ended very badly wrong. Luckily, there was no damage caused, or at least nothing visual. But Paul, that was a big old hit.
Still set the fastest lap as well.
Maybe that looks worse than it was. Oh, that's into the wall. That's MK Bourne. No, he hasn't taken us out of the race, but that's the third car or second car. Second or third car we've seen spin in that sort of way. Safety car again. I'm not too sure really what put Yuri around, but I'd imagine it's something similar. The traction is so deceptive on this game. You think you've got it, and then you're straight round. And well, that's the third driver we've seen today fall foul of that. Second one up at turn 2 and 3. That safety car again. Risky, Pete, still in the sauce. Will they pit? Yuri as well. Will he pit? And Clyde too. Well, we'll really see the whole pale. Will they end up seeing everyone on the hard compound tyres? If we do, Arnold. How many stops has he made, Arnold? He's only made the 1 stop so far. Highest in 2 stops would be Khalifa. He could still end up leading this thing.
And you are right, Owen, it was Yuri. He lost it purely on traction. MK Bourne, he's another one of these drivers who's taken the assist off this season, so he's probably just been caught out on the exit of that corner where he spun. So, but at least there's a safety car, so he'll be able to stay in the race at least, but he has lost a lot of track position there.
Right then, so who's going to pit? Who's going to blink here? Obviously, Khalifa, I guess, will be hoping they all go in for the hards and he can lead away. Would it really count as a Joker victory though if that happened that way? We need to figure that out.
No, he has to pit only once for the Joker to count.
Right, well, looks like we've not got too many pit stops. We've got Peter, we've got Paul, and we've got Riley in. But not really too many actually in the pit as it stands. Obviously, you'll get a few, but not as many, or not as, well, yeah, not as many as I actually expected. People like Kyle and Dexter, I would have thought maybe would just pit. Although saying that, they might have the glitch actually on their tyres. 10 laps old in just 7 laps. Bit dodgy that, so I think they've got that 2 laps for every 1 lap glitch on their tyres. So that should be just 5 and 5 actually. It goes for Mr. John as well. I think. It's hard to tell really. But either way, it's not 10 laps, that's what I'm trying to say. And then Risky, his tyres have been done 0 laps, that's incredible stuff. It's very glitchy, I must say. Confusing.
He's incredibly polite on those tyres, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean,
Risky Racing.
He must be just hovering. Tyres aren't actually on the track, they're just spinning for effect. Incredible glitches here. This is what you'll expect at the start of a game cycle, in fairness, though. So, I mean, give Cody's a chance to iron it out. Actually, no. I mean, on the beta, they don't like me saying this, but on the beta, they're absolutely hopeless. They don't listen to you, really, actually. So, actually, maybe they won't fix this. Maybe we'll just be stuck with this all year. I've never signed up to a beta ever again, I swear. They don't listen to a word you say. The only thing they listened to me for was this. The changing the camera position. That's all they listened to me with. I told them I'm on there specifically for spectator mode. And like, okay. So, here's all the things I like in effects because it's all really broken. Do you know, we're only going to do the easy thing. Unbelievable. Anyway, sorry, mini rage over because it will... it's very broke. It's very broken.
Rage counter, #1 of the season.
It is very broken though, right? So, I think I've got a right to complain when I've tried to have some input in here and they're just sort of like, we're going to just politely ignore you.
Yeah. I expect Risky to stay out on this lap just to collect the playoff point.
Yes, I don't see any reason for anyone to pit at this point unless they've had an accident or something.
No.
Because the field's too bunched up. I'm saying that Whiteout's last, but he's not last in the slightest. He's got a couple of cars behind him. Is that Riley behind him? Yeah, so his car's actually... Has it been lapped then? That'll be it. So has he been lapped by practically the whole field then?
He's been lapped. He'll have to get out of the way on the restart.
Apparently he's 2 laps down from the race leader. I'm not sure about that one.
I don't believe anybody's a lap down.
I
believe he may well be 18th, but I don't think he's a lap down.
Yeah, the game said he's 2 laps down. Like, it's not even just the one; it's 2 entire laps down. So strange. I am struggling here to try and comprehend what's going on here. I will try, but I mean, can you see how broken this is? We'll try. Do you know what? This is the perfect time to have some more NASCAR friends. This is the perfect timing error. I know they were feigning a pass and all that, but this is prime timing error, friends. I can see how they managed it so easily back then. Whether they were fixed or not, mind you, is up to your own preference. But my goodness, is this confusing. Ah, right. So I do see that IGK task is actually in there, telling us about refreshing it to fix it.
Yeah.
I'll see if it's okay now.
I should have mentioned that to you.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd check the YouTube chat because I thought, I can't look at tasks, so you're not giving a cleaner view of who's where.
Speaking of the YouTube chat, I've got 13 watchers right now. It's nice to see. Because Whiteout leaves the session.
I still can't see the whole grid. I only see 14 cars. Because there's too many graphics that are going over the top of it. It's telling me about stuff that... I don't like this at all. I can't see. I need to get my old laptop. I need my laptop for this. Too cluttered.
I must admit, I'm on the laptop and it's working perfectly.
Yes. I got rid of my laptop, you see. Because... I got a gaming PC because I'm moving on to PC soon for commentary with AOR and the likes, but for now I can't look at it. I need to get my old PC. But anyway, enough of that. Risky, bit of a slidey exit in the final corner, but still well clear as we go green once again. Jake in second place, Kyle in third on only 7 at all tyres. They should be anyway. Ignore the 14, that's just doubled because this game can't count. And Bazza having a look on Mr. John. Remember, he's the only guy that's doing a pure one-stop as it stands. He's not pitting again, you'd imagine, for the rest of this race. And Jordan's still a bit laggy there. That was causing a few problems for Clyde, who's now got a bit of trouble behind there. From, yeah, that could be, it's hard to tell. I mean, everyone's changing up a lot.
I was watching the exit there. Bazza got the move done on Mr. John, but then lost it on traction on the exit, and Mr. John's back through into P8.
Look at Jordan. I don't know if Jordan's back in the car. He must be. He's locking up on all sorts, so he must be back in the car. And he's all over Bazza now himself. I've got no gaps, but I can tell you that Mr. John is losing buckets of time right now. This is giving the top 7 a very nice buffer already.
I have inside team news. Risky Racer will be pitting this lap.
Nice.
This is what happens when the teams share the information with you.
J-Luke on for his fastest lap of the race anyway, so he's clearly showing he's got the pace out there. But remember that Paul McGuinness has been in the pits for a second time. He might end up being the main challenger. Riley as well. Paul and Riley, the main challengers here to J-Luke, as Risky...
Oh, Risky says out.
Doesn't pit it. He does lose the lead though. Had the playoff point anyway, but look at him, he's coming back now with the overtake button on the inside of turn 1. That's how useful that thing can be. It's like a second DRS. And he should be able to get that move done. He'll have the outside line which should turn the inside. But J-Luke has that move done. But again, on the overtake button, wasting that ARS potentially since he's looking at pitting.
Well, they send it. It's risky. I expect him to. Locks up the inside.
Oh,
Comes
nearly
back around.
contact.
Oh, he's
This
going to
is
give away.
a good chance to actually go back on the inside, but that's contact. Front line broken.
Yep.
That's not went well, has it? He maybe should have pitted. And that'll have Kyle from the back of the grid. Kyle sitting in P3, soon to become P2. Virtue of the damage there, maybe the pit stop as well. But I mean, he can win this thing, couldn't he? He's all
Easily.
He also has to make only one more stop. I mean, this is working very well indeed. Second place.
Don't forget, this time yesterday, Kyle didn't even have a race seat.
I know, it's a real, really exciting last 24 hours this for him, and it could get better yet. On
That's
lap
the
10.
best pre-season of anybody. He took pole in Austria, then won at Silverstone the day after. And was unlucky to miss out on a seat in the draft, but now he's got his seat, he's proven his worth here.
Yep. DRS I think should be enabled on this lap, so we'll see if we can get within that 1 second.
It's risky, will it?
Risky does, yes.
What do you think of Jamie Bromley Splinter running up in P3, Owen? We didn't expect to be running this high with the faster drivers, but I think he's adjusted to the game better than others looking at what we've seen so far. He's going very well at the moment.
He's doing well, isn't he? I mean, it's hard to tell, I guess, in a way, with just virtue of all the strategies right now all being a bit up in the air, but certainly running P3 at all, maybe he just wasn't expecting that, so it's good for him. As Khalifa, the man who was meant to be retired, has got the inside of Dexter and passed him. So he's, maybe he wasn't even expecting to be here at all. So there's been quite a lot of happy people in this top 5, I'd imagine. Arnold as well was right at the back. Yeah, this top 5 really defying all expectations as it stands. If you look at the end of qualifying or pre-season or really anything, Cal, pretty much the only one you'd expect to be there, and J-Luke as well. But the way Cal got there, very interesting, but he has not got the pace to stick with J-Luke. You can see that. He's gained 6/10 already on this lap, J-Luke, on Kyle, or pulled away I should say, by 6/10, now 7. Also has next to no ERS, Kyle. So that doesn't help him too much. So J-Luke is running clear right now, but you've got to remember that Khalifa is going to the end, as is Baza. Although Riley and Paul are actually both ahead of Baza, so that will sort of dampen his spirits a little bit. Whiteye, well, his car is still doing all sorts of things.
Mr. John and Paul battling Owen down the back straight there.
Well, no, this is Whiteye. This is what I'm saying. This is Whiteye's car.
Oh, that's Whiteout, is it? Sorry, my bad.
They do look very similar from the outboard view, but I just don't know what Whiteout's doing, if he's actually there, what's happening as Arnold gets past Splinter into turn 1. Mr. John and Whiteout still fighting away. I don't know, like I say, if he's actually there or what, but they're nearly hitting each other. Mr. John certainly thinks he's there, he's moving around. And that's into him. Yeah, that's not gone too well. And Paul will go past, Riley's gone past. And yeah, I'm not too sure what's going on with Whiteout's car there. It must be an AI or something. I have no idea what's happening here. Although maybe it is him. Maybe he's just not realising he's being lapped or something. Or maybe he is on the lead lap and the game's just telling us that he's a lap down. So confusing, man. Does the task say anything interesting on this? Does it give us a clear view of where he is? It's risky.
And it's risky.
Has been off.
Problem?
Yep, he's been off at the exit of turn 3. Again,
There's
another
new
car
tyres.
up there. Those shiny new softs have been ruined.
No longer shiny.
No longer shiny, more gritty and ruined.
He's
But
going
like
to
I
hope for
say-
another safety car.
Like I say, Riley actually is making some good ground. We've got blue flags there as well, you know, for White. Sorry, I mean they're flashing everywhere. We'd see some penalties popping up for him if they were, you know, for actually blue flags, because you'll get penalties for ignoring them. It's really odd, this. Like I say, Riley as well, you've got to factor him in. Also going to the end on his hards, much newer than Khalifa's, and like I say, with the way the tower works on this game, it could catch out Khalifa if he doesn't threaten to blow as early as they potentially will. As Paul and Clyde, yeah, they were centre routine positions, they were nowhere near each other. Paul was there just getting by Clyde, not Clyde. I said that, he wasn't. It's Whiteout. Timings are all glitched, folks.
As per usual.
I mean, it's never normally this bad, though, is it? It's incredibly annoying.
as Riley gets past the, not the Ghost, but he gets past Jordan. Jordan currently not in that car.
Yeah, not bad from the AI car, running P9 at the moment, although falling rapidly. And yeah, like I say, I'd be interested to see what Riley and Paul do. It's just the only way they could win this really is if Khalifa's tyres fall off and J-Luke, Kyle, or J-Luke, Kyle and Splinter and Arnold, I guess, actually as well, aren't quick enough on their new tyres at the end, or say at the end, just later on. They'll be putting those tyres on in about 3 or 4 laps. So, yeah, we'll see how it all starts to pan out then. The gap to Khalifa is not very big, so Khalifa should be leading by miles. And their gap to Riley and Paul about 14 seconds, 15 seconds, so yeah, we'll see how this all pans out. That's sort of what the second half of this race is going to be about. Who has the right strategy? Is Mr. John on the inside there of Jordan. No way through. NK Bourne's going to get the two of them as Jordan's car pits and NK Bourne is into the top 10. For once I haven't said he's into the points because everyone's in the points. First time I haven't made that mistake. I've got to pat myself on the back for that one. Here comes Bazza on the
making
inside.
a move on Camo. Camo with wing damage there on the front. As does Bazza, actually, front right.
Ah yes, both of them. So that's equal playing grounds then, just not very quick unfortunately due to the damage. Yellow, sector 3, that is for Risky again.
Really struggling, isn't he?
Spinning out the final corner. Like I said, the traction is so much more difficult in this game. It's deceptive. If you're on a qualifying lap, your traction is going to be brilliant. But look at this, J-Luke has absolutely had a horrendous mistake by the looks of it. Kyle leads and J-Luke's lost about 4 or 5 seconds. Didn't see what happened there. He's just locked up and gone wide at turn 10. But J-Luke down to P5 and yeah, Kyle in the lead from the back.
Kyle, by the way, from the back of the grid, not up 19 places.
And that could even be another case of the traction where in the first few laps of the tyres they're fine, it's good, but as they start to wear they just fall off and a mistake just comes out of nowhere, it almost feels like. But J-Luke was the leader, not anymore. He's behind Khalifa like now. I mean that's really bad news for him.
Yeah. He has to pit again, well they all do.
Apart from Khalifa. And Riley and Paul and Camo.
Khalifa will be back to winning ways, you'd like to think. Of course, he won more races than anybody else last season with 5. Second in the championship.
It depends what safety cars are like, really, doesn't it? I mean, if he gets a bad safety car timing, then that could really ruin his race, actually. Say he gets a pit, say he has gone past the pits and everyone gets the safety car pit stop onto the salt or something, and he's stuck on those hards, he'll be in a bit of trouble. Yeah. Yellows again, instead to 1. This time it's for, I believe, Yuri in the gravel trap. Recovering back in P12. Paul's got a 3-second time penalty.
The Speed Boys are really struggling today, aren't they?
They are a lot, aren't they? We've got one out of the race, one 17th, one 13th, and the other one 12th. None of them currently running anywhere near as high as they'd really be wanting to, or as high as really their expectations were from last season. Although, as you say, really, with the lack of assists now for peak compared to last season, you'd expect it to be a bit of a learning curve, but they've got to hope it'll be quick, don't they? And then again, all they need is one win, don't they? So if he gets it all together for the last round for the playoffs, then it'll be alright, but he has sort of got to make sure he's all good.
There's 10 rounds to get themselves secured into the playoffs.
Splinters
Don't do what Bazza did and move into the last race of the regular season. He lost out by a single point for Risky.
Yeah, that's not fun when that happens. I mean, Bazza was looking good that race as well. He was looking good in many races and it always went wrong. The puncture in Austria, really, that's what cost him, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it was, last round.
But
it just goes to show how important every point is. Like, you think, had he made 2 on-track positions elsewhere before Austria, he would have been in the playoffs, and Risky would have been out. That's how close it was in the end.
Right now, the guy with playoff points. When was the last playoff point? Lap 14 or 15? Either way, I think Kyle would have got it.
Yeah, 15. So Kyle has it.
Kyle has got a playoff point.
Steve Newgarden, by the way, retired earlier on. He's just confirmed to me that he spun on cold tyres into the wall, and that's what ended his race. Mr. John gets past Jordan.
Well, this is actually another thing, again, from my team, that it's the same as here, but judging by the amount of spins, probably as tyres tend to actually be quite cool when they're new, and it always seems to catch me out anyway, especially on a formation lap. Formation laps appear way more crucial on this game, because the tyres will always start ice cold. You've really got to heat them up now. And I imagine the same sort of true with the safety car restarts, etc. You just got to always be prepared for that, but then you do it too much, it'll overheat, and when tyres overheat on this game, God help you, you're in trouble. Big trouble. As
Got the gap now. Khalifa trying to catch Arnold.
Yeah, I'm seeing
He's right there.
some more pit stops there, and we'll see where Kyle is out compared to others, really. Because, of course, he is the leader of the race, or was the leader of the race, so, you know, if this is where the highest car ends up, then it could be quite worrying for the rest. Obviously, highest guy to not pit now is Khalifa, or to not have to make another pit stop is Khalifa. Second highest being Riley, and Riley nearly 8 seconds off Khalifa. I think you are sort of right here, aren't you? Khalifa is on an easy streak right now. How many stops is on, mate? He's only made the one, hasn't he? So he could make this last though and go to soft or something. So that could work out in his favour in some way. As J-Luke has got by Baza into P9, and another damaged car of Camo Babo. Look at the holding up that's being done. J-Luke around the outside, trying to find a way through to turn it, and a lot of contact there. No front wing damage, I don't think, but that has got Baza very interested once again. Will he find a way through?
Just hard defending.
Look at that, how close J-Luke's getting to the back of Camo Babo. This is really going to annoy him, and there goes Risky. Safety car is out again, and Yuri spun as well. It's all going off for the Speed Boys again. Unbelievable. That's the third safety car in this race so far, and is Khalifa going to do his trick again to the pit lane? He's made the overtake. Was it too early this time? Will he get in trouble for that? Oh, was it an early overtake? Will he get away with that? If it's in the pit lane entry, I think you get away with it.
He's got it.
Well, hold on. He'll have a 15-second timer, but he's also got the later pit stall. I'd hope that was legal. Soft tyres there for Arnold, and behind Khalifa, the new race leader. Then, but was that move legal? I think he's gonna get away with it. That's incredible. And look at Kyle. Kyle, so close. He can't make an overtake, but he is up there in second still. But look at how good Arnold's looking at the moment on those softs. That has to be a brilliant decision, considering the safety car will be out a few laps.
He's going to be able to save those for 2 or 3 laps, and then big charge at the end. Will it be enough? Has he got enough time? Surely.
And just again, I mean, he and Kyle, 18 position for Kyle, 16 for Arnold. Couldn't end up being 18 for Arnold at the end of this race for the win, and wouldn't that just be fantastic?
Indeed, and by the way, Dexter as well, he made his second stop during that safety car as well. He's up to P6 now, that's 4th position.
Yes, and every single person has now finished their required amount of pit stops. Again, Joker has failed miserably, but one day. Never. It's annoying that, really, isn't it, actually? Because Khalifa might well win this race, but since he had to make another pit stop for the front wing, he actually made 3 pit stops today. He'll end up winning with the most pit stops, equal most pit stops. Well, I say that. I say that like he's going to win. He might not, but we'll see. Paul as well. Look at him on those softs as well.
Just looking at the telemetry, I know the guys on YouTube can't see this, but at 56 minutes past 7, it just says Sullivan Lewis has given up. I think he lost it on traction, but I do like that it says he's given up. 17 drivers remain in the race.
That feels like one of my quotes have just sort of stuck in there. The system must be watching me a bit more often than I wonder. I want to imagine that. See any of my quotes. Maybe they're Minecraft quotes, actually. It feels more like a Minecraft death message, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We need to get Friend of Gammy's livery back from last season. Minecraft.
Lovely livery. My favourite.
Minecraft car. I kind of miss it, I can't lie. I mean,
he changed it to the Earth Dreams car, but it should have been the Earth Block car, shouldn't it?
I know. Man, I should have named it something different now. And we've got another pit stop in there. Another pit stop there, by the way. That is for Mr. John.
So where's White out in all this? He's still a lap down.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I really don't understand that. I don't think he is a lap down. I don't know how it's possible for him to be a lap down. I'm sure he'll probably turn around after this and say, "Oh, what a fantastic win that was for me." What do you mean you're lap down?
Yeah.
You know, it'll just be typical that, won't it? But I don't think he's leading the race. Well, where's his car in the train? I think he's running 12th.
Behind Bazza.
He's running 12th. I'm going to assume he's running 12th. That's my best guess because, you know, he would have been getting blue flag penalties, wouldn't he? Because he'd be getting blue flags the whole time if he was actually being lapped. So I'd say Whitehart is running P12.
We're not getting anything come up in the telemetry either. He changed his wing on lap 16 and lap 18, interestingly enough.
We see a couple of safety car collisions.
Sorry, Cameron Blair changed his wing on lap 18, that's Camo Dabo. Connor changed his wing on lap 16.
Right, come on guys, can we get this safety car in yet? I'm very interested to see how this one's going to end. I tell you what, Clyde might not be looking forward to this though. Only guy out there on the hards, and well, I mean they're fresh enough, but most of the tyres around him are softer and newer. And even though the hards are a good race tyre potentially, they're not quicker than mediums or softs.
No, and particularly not on a restart either.
Especially not with this long to go. I mean, with lighter cars, you know, grippier tyres, less fuel, quicker cars, all just in general, he might find himself in a lot of trouble. But we'll see what happens as the safety car lights are out. We're getting ready to do yet another restart here in Bahrain. Will this season opener have a surprise winner from the back of the grid? The back row currently sitting in a very nice position to rock up and spoil the party. But we'll see.
Kyle's itching to go, look at it.
Here we go.
When will Khalifa go? That's right now.
I think Arnold's actually reacted best. Arnold reacted very well indeed. If Kyle's got any sort of run, Arnold could also get a bit of leeching off that. He'll have much better grip on the exit of the corner. Besides, go for the move on the inside of Kyle. And Paul and Riley both getting past Dexter. And a big slide for Arnold. And he's side by side with J-Luke. So much position changes. Paul's at the P5 there. Incredible. And we've seen another speed car going off the track. Pete's all.
Yep. Last season's champion.
A hectic restart. I didn't see where Paul made all the positions up, but I'm pretty sure he made 2 or 3 there. Incredible stuff. With purple first sector. He's flying. Will he have a go on J-Luke? We're seeing that battle. J-Luke was certainly expecting it. He went defensive, but Paul is absolutely on it right now. Here he goes. Up to P4. He's got endless amounts of grip right now. And he's starting to unleash this car. Can he win this race?
It's all coming to him. The man who only has a Zam 4 setup. What can he do at P4 right now? It's a true story. They'll have the back of Arnold going down.
Virtual safety car. Virtual safety car.
That'll be our last one of the race.
Still one more to take.
4?
Still one more to take after this one.
No, that's it, isn't it?
5, five now.
You are right. You are
3 safety cars and a virtual safety car, I believe we've had so far. But Paul there, I'm pretty sure he was starting about 8 from that restart, and he's now 4th. I think if he gets past Arnold, he's the highest running soft guy, and suddenly looking in a great position to win this thing. And Khalifa,
and took a place in the playoffs as well.
When this BSC came out, Khalifa wasn't exactly pulling away either from Kyle. Kyle again showing some nice pace. Shield at qualifying when he got DC'd, but it can certainly make up for it. A lot can happen here, and I reckon we're about to get green again because it seems these guys are all preparing now. We've been under BSC for about half a lap. Who's going to react quickest?
Cloud went from 10th to 16th, so those hards are
not
working for him.
Look at Paul, he's on this, he's on to the overtake. Arnold's had to follow him on that overtake there, but certainly Paul had a decent reaction there. Pulls away from Jellic a little bit, but it's all stayed the same in terms of the order. NK Bourne going past there in the braking zone, and a few more moves going on. I believe that's Whitehart getting himself into 10th place. Obviously it won't show us that, but I swear he's in 10th. Ignore his positioning being wrong. But look at this, Arnold. A lot of defence there. And Paul's on the outside of turn 10. That'll be a difficult one to make stick, but on the exit, look at the run. He's got so much more grip. Are we sure he hasn't got the hyper sauce on? He's flying along here. Can Paul get this one done into turn 11? He'll brake later, surely. But I imagine Arnold will probably not leave him too much room. But he's left just enough. Respect for racing here. Hard racing. But Paul's onto the curb and nearly losing it into the side of Arnold. That could have been an airplane accident.
Fastest sector 2 for Kyle and all of that as well. Yellow flags come out
Virtual again.
Another
Oh, big
VSC.
accident. We've got all sorts going on. We've got Camo Babo and MK Bourne coming together at turn 12. And that's what Paul and Arno could so easily have ended up like. That's exactly what I was expecting them two to do. One of them must have just hit the curb and lost it into the other. And that'll be
that
the final
curb on the inside. Horrible place to be.
The final safety car then we'll have in this race. And I wonder if Riley had something to do with this because he's in the pit of a broken front wing. And we go green again. So he's having to take a penalty. He's stuck there. So frustrating for him. But we are green again. Battle resumes for the lead. Battle resumes for third place. And DRS is enabled now. Lap 22 out of 29 here. No more safety cars or virtual safety cars to sit. We've had all 5 available safety cars. And look how close his top 5 is. All within each other's DRS. And Kyle struggling for grip here against Arnoud. And Arnoud can break so much later, as can Paul. And they still get it beautifully into the apex. They've got so much speed right now. But the problem is...
Owen, let's not forget as well, Paul picked up a 3-second penalty earlier as well.
He's got to get a move on, doesn't he? He's in this train. But what I was going to say is the issue is this is a bit of a DRS train. And we know how difficult these are. They're even more difficult on this game with the way the ERS is now. Didn't think it would be, but having seen a few races, it certainly is more difficult. But with the tyre advantage, could certainly flip the script on its head right now. Paul is staying there, and obviously Cleveland doesn't have any DRS at all, so if Kyle absolutely has to go for it, but he hasn't got ERS. He's got no ERS here. He might be a sitting duck, actually. Cleveland's going to weave across the track to do some defence, but I reckon Arnoud might fly past Kyle, who's got no ERS left. Here comes Arnoud down to turn 1 on the inside of Kyle. Bit late on the brakes there. Will he make it into the corner? Yes, he will, with a fantastic grip of those soft compound tyres. And now it's Khalifa versus Arnoud for the win. Will Paul be able to follow Arnoud through into the podium positions? Surely he'll give it a go, but no, he's going to hang back. He really wanted to go for it. He tried a couple of times to look at the inside, trying to pressure Kyle into an error, but there was nothing stopping him there. Kyle was going to hold that position for at least another few corners, but you can see how much grip Paul's got. He's got to get by. He can't waste his time with a penalty.
And how many times have we seen Khalifa and Arnold last season battling for the win as Paul goes to the outside of Kyle? Can he make it stick? Will he cut back underneath? No.
No way
Owen,
through.
He's got to get a move on. He's got
not
the grip.
Clinical.
But
He's
Kyle
not
has the
clinical
DRS.
here. So does Arnoud for the lead of the race. Here he goes into turn 11, down the inside of Khalifa. Nearly contact. He has to back it off there. But now Khalifa's seen. Then we're going behind him. He's going to have to hope those tyres start to fall off at some point. But will they? That's the big question. Because obviously VSC, safety cars, there's been plenty of slow laps on these tyres. And look at the view that Khalifa's going to have to look at for a while. All 4 of these cars behind him go from at any point. And they're all quicker than him as well. That's the thing that's going to be very annoying for him. As we start lap 24, Arnoud set the fast lap of the race while backing off a move. That's how quick he can be. And look at that
Jamie
Paul.
makes a move on Paul as well.
And look at Arnold on the outside there as well at Khalifa. There's a bit of front wing there as he hit it there. He needs to be careful he doesn't get a penalty, or not a penalty, a puncture of that. I think he's got a puncture. Paul might have run over that there. It's hard to tell. Either that or he's just lost it. Luckily, I think he just lost it, but they've got to be careful of that front wing end flip. That could seriously ruin someone's race. With Paul, P5, and struggling for grip already. Are his tyres starting to go? That'd be surprising.
Telemetry is fine. He has no problems with his tyres. There's no puncture.
Right, that's good news. And look at that, Arnoud's lost the car there. That could have Kyle on him as well. Now, are these top 4 clear of penalties, by the way? I know you can check that.
You focus on the race, I'll check that.
Here comes Arnoud again. DRS, but not much ERS. They're all starting to drain their ERSs. Pretty much no one actually has anything to work with apart from Khalifa and J-Luke, which of course is at the front and at the back of this 4-car train, which certainly could make these last 5 laps very interesting indeed. But Kyle is just not quite holding on at the same rate as Arnoud is.
And Paul has a penalty 3 seconds that we know about, and also a 5-second penalty on lap 2. Arnold has a 5-second penalty, but I believe he served it. And Khalifa is just on the 1 warning, as is Kyle and Jamie.
Right, here comes Arnoud for the race lead once again. He's got no ERS to work with. He's still sticking on over to it. He's going to be making none of that ERS back. and J-Luke at the same times on the outside of Kyle. He has had to break super late. But look at Arnold on the inside of turn 2.
Oh, not that.
Oh, there we go. He's
Kyle's
lost a
gonna get him out,
lot of
J-Luke.
time. Kyle's
gonna
getting
drop.
him. J-Luke's getting him. It's like hacking in on Schumacher in Belgium. Up to P2 goes J-Luke. But on the exit here comes
Wing damage for
Kyle.
Arnold.
Kyle trying to make anything work here. He can't do anything. And now will J-Luke be able to chase after the race leader?
Oh,
And look
wow.
at Arnold. Arnold really is struggling with that front wing damage. He just got a bit too ambitious. Paul, can he finally get by Arnold? He's waited so long to do it. Outside of turn 10, this might be a little bit more difficult because of the front wing damage into here. But the cutback, as you say, should put him up. But he's sort of cruising now. They're both sort of after you there. Will anyone make a move? Will he just stick it on the inside pole? Hold him off. P4 finally got the move done.
Yeah.
Although he's had a horrendous exit of turn 11. He could find Arnold on in a moment, but here we go. Fight for the lead. It's not dead, folks. It's absolutely still alive. J-Luke is flying along now. He's got a little bit more ERS to play with, but still not quite as much as Khalifa. That's the issue these guys have got. They're all using their ERS, and it's costing them. Fascinating stuff with 4 laps to go in the season opener.
4%. Incredible.
Look at that. There's just next to no closing speed for J-Luke here. Kyle maybe feels a little bit more comfortable, but there's just nothing much happening.
Looking at the telemetry, Kyle has the best tyres out of these 5. They are the freshest and with the least wear on. So if anybody's going to do anything, I expect it to be him. But Jamie, what can he do? Can he make a move on Khalifa in these closing laps? Switching from Kyle.
Something's going to happen because setting J-Luke goes for this. Kyle will be praying really for that.
Khalifa's made a mistake, Owen.
Yeah, Khalifa's going to be okay with that one now. He should be able to hold J-Luke off on the exit. All this does is sort of help Kyle as Pete's
out.
combined speed's horrendous day. Yuri's only guy in the top 10 right now. All 3 of the rest of the speed boys are out of the race. But this lead fight is getting closer and closer and closer as J-Luke closes in. Kyle closes in. Paul McGuinness might have some penalties, but he might still find himself in this as well. Even Arnold could find himself in it at some point if these guys fight hard enough. But this is as close as this lead fight has been all day. And J-Luke is now starting to gain a little bit more ARS. Can he launch an attack into turn 1 on the next lap? And Paul is right on it now.
You mentioned the Speed Boys have had a bad day. Khalifa's actually reserving in for them, so they could still get a win out of this.
Here comes J-Luke. He might be right to take that victory away from Khalifa, but look out for Kyle as well. Kyle's going to get a bit of a double DRS here, but again, Khalifa with the extra ERS. In fact, they're equal now. They're equal now in the ERS. That could make these last 3 laps interesting. Free to go. A lot of front wings sitting there at turn 1. Hopefully no one goes too wide and picks up a puncture there, because that could be disastrous for them. But J-Luke, man, he's got the 3 ERS zones, DRS zones. He's got more ERS now. The move has to come eventually. Surely.
Jamie's just got to save a little bit, just enough to get past him on that main straight. Maybe on the start of lap 28 would be the time to do it, and then just fend off Khalifa for the rest of the lap. No mistakes through that sector this time for Khalifa.
Yeah,
they're all together.
Wasn't the best few corners for J-Luke though. He was a bit off the racing line. It really cost him a couple of tenths of a second there. But he's still right on this. He should gain that time back through the DRS zone. Looking back from Khalifa, and you can just see how scary that is. Seeing the Lotus Caterham, whatever you want to call it, inspired livery sitting right behind.
The green car.
The green car. And on the curve as well for Khalifa, really struggling along there. Oh, surely a move is coming soon. It has to be. Even if we dive bomb, show yourself. Show you're intending to pass here. Round 1 of the season. You could rock up here, J-Luke, and book your place in the playoffs instantly. 2 to go, but not using the ERS. That tells me he's looking at saving it for the last lap. Although saying that, no one's using it on my screen. I wonder if that's actually just a visual glitch.
Not entirely sure.
Splinter, by the way.
Sort of low 20s and teens on the telemetry here.
Splinter, by the way, is on Arnoud's tail, trying to nick P5 on the damaged Belgian. To be fair, maybe it won't be that hard of a move, but we'll see. That one might develop on the last lap. But
J-Luke, by the way, P7, Owen. He's had a great race.
Yeah, decent run for him. One of the Joker drivers. Again, as we've seen so many times in this league, in fact, every single time it's been used, it just never really works out for the driver using it. But, I don't know, I'm starting to get a bit doubtful now that J-Luke can make this move work. He's saving the ERS, that's the thing. He is saving it. He's now got nearly sort of 15% more than Khalifa, so that means he could almost give it some all the way up to turn 4 now, if he uses it correctly. And it'll all be down to sort of Khalifa's exits out of the corners. He might have nothing left on this last lap. We'll wait and see. J-Luke's using the ERS already to close in and prepare the move. He's still got more to use on the straight as well. This has to be the move. It could well be his last chance. Final lap of the first round of the JACKOCAR season. This isn't going to be one of those where you know who the winner is at the start of the final lap, as it was in Australia last season. This is side by side for the lead on the final lap. J-Luke going to go for the cutback. Going to try and nick it on the way out to turn 4. As I said, he's on the overtake. He's going to be on the DRS as well. Outside line for turn 4 is the preferred line for overtaking. And J-Luke on the way up the hill, down towards turn 4. Can he get the exit? You see how well he's been able to fight with Paul here. But he's not even going to have to fight Khalifa. He's passed into the lead. But can he hold on to it now? There's still another DRS zone to defend from into turn 11.
Great move there from Jamie. Proving all the haters wrong. Of course, he raced in the first race last season in Australia. He got a P2 out of that. Can he go one better this season and in a full-time seat for a place in the playoffs? Coming into the final sector now. Jamie leads from Khalifa.
That could well be the danger gone now. Khalifa has not got any ERS to fight with. Kyle is too far behind to have a go on Khalifa and J-Luke. Well, he started on pole. You wouldn't have thought he'd have finished there, judging by how his race was going, thanks to the strategy. But he's been able to make the positions up. He's just weaving across now to break that toe. Try and prevent any overtaking into the last 2 corners. And as he comes around the final corner, J-Luke's going to see the checkered flag. And he's going to take the first victory of the JACKOCAR Season 2. And the first win on F1 2020, of course. Along with a ticket to the playoffs. What a drive.
Great race. Great final 10 laps as well. That's a good one.
Khalifa P2, good race from him on the alternate strategy from P9, but Kyle from the back of the grid. That could well be drive of the day, that was
Easy.
stunning. 17 positions made. What a drive. Splinter beats Paul on the penalty. Paul ends up P5 and Arnold so close to beating him there, but ends up in P6. Baza 20 seconds back in P7 with Yuri 8th, Clyde 9th and Mr. John in the top 10 in the first race. Riley's going to come round in P11. Oh, actually no, sorry, Whiteside I believe actually will be the guy that comes around in P11, I think. And then it'll be Riley, and then Dexter and Jordan. But what a drive from J-Luke. It looks like a textbook start to finish there, P1 to P1. It was nothing like that. Trust me. What a season opener.
Hey, was that as good as Australia last year?
I mean, Australia had a little bit more drama, but it didn't have a lead fight all the way to the finish, did it? It didn't have a move for the lead on the final lap. That's what we needed. That's the way to start the season. That's a good way to tell you. This is a competitive league, competitive tier, competitive everything. So many drivers could have won that thing today. But J-Luke, the pole man, somehow converts it. And Kyle, the game agrees with us, the driver of the day.
I think the public will agree with us when the driver of the day vote goes up later on, but I think that's deserved.
Moonwalking his way to victory, J-Luke. Loving life on the podium. And picking up the Bahrain trophy. One of the trophies they're actually allowed to sort of replicate on this game. Most of them are sort of a generic trophy, but they actually get to give him the proper trophy. And well-deserved champagne. Are you allowed champagne in Bahrain, or is it Abu Dhabi it's illegal?
It's rosewater, isn't it? Bahrain and Abu Dhabi,
yeah. It's rosewater. I mean, this is champagne, but that's because we're in the virtual world, so we get away with it. But let's confirm the provisional order, because I know there's some penalties to go on, aren't there? There's 2 drivers of penalties. Let me just quickly check who they are. Just in case we've celebrated J-Luke and he's got a penalty. I don't think he does, mind you. It's Baza having 5 seconds out to his finish. And so where will that put him? Because he got 9 seconds on the track. That'll actually leave him down in P9. So that'll be Yuri going up and Clyde going up. Whiteside had 20 seconds. He might actually end up back down in P14.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
don't
see
think
what
he's
his
going to fight it.
let's see what his time will actually be in the end there. But the original order is J. Khalifa, Kyle Splinter, Paul Arnold, Yuri, Clyde Baza, Mr. John Riley, Dexter, Jordan, Whiteout, wherever the hell he's going to end up. And then the retirements, Pete, Camababu, NK Born, Risky, Newgarden, and OKK. What?
Awful day for Team Speed.
Awful day for Team Speed, but a stunning start to the season. A very entertaining one as well. Hope everyone has enjoyed that. Hopefully I can have my task working next week as well. Would be nice. And, that'll be the end of the first race. A fantastic start to the season. And we're back in Azerbaijan next week. We know how well that one went last season. Luckily, no offense, Jess, but luckily you're not there to take people out when they're lapping you. So
no rages this time. No rages.
No
this
raging.
time.
No reason for me to get angry. Thank goodness. But yes, it will be Azerbaijan next week. Same time, same place. 5 to 7 because we like to go a little bit early now because of qualifying. Please be there. Please do not leave us. How could you abandon races in as good as this? But anyway, cheers for watching, everybody. And see you next week. Safe travels, everybody.